for example, it's like the phone we have nowadays. This was someone's work. This was their passion. And now it's serving a purpose in our lives. That's exactly what purpose does.
My name is Doyin. Welcome to Rethink Live with Doyin, where we unlearn to relearn.
I do have some questions that I already have prepared for tonight, so you guys can understand. So the first question is about Rethink Live with Doyin, right? And how did this come about? Again, please go ahead and just put in the chat if you have any question. Okay, thanks. So the question is, what makes me feel like I can help people discover their purpose, right? I'm sure that's a question because sometimes people may feel like, hey, you're not a pastor, you're not a minister, and you're not God. So how is it that you're able to help people discover their life purpose? One thing I know for certain, this information about discovering one's life purpose. If you guys go ahead and look into, if go to the library or you go to, Barnes and Noble, for example, or you listen to world-renowned speakers, they do have a way that it can help you discover your life purpose. There is a way. Sometimes people feel like, hey, that answer cannot be answered by anybody else but maybe their pastor. But that's incorrect. The answer actually is really truly in the Bible. I'm not here to preach to people about religion, but I will tell you a little bit about that, right? Some of the things that are in the Bible, of course, does apply big time to the things of life as of now. Depending on what belief or you believe, whatever you believe in, a lot of the things from my experience and also from reading, from acquiring knowledge, I have found that a lot of information do overlap when it comes to different religious or spiritual perspectives. So what I mean by that is that a lot of things, depending on what you believe in, right? Even if you don't believe in, Christianity, or you don't follow that path, right? I'm very spiritual. I'm not really about, one particular religion. And I'm not here to pour into you guys about what I believe in. Well, one thing that I always asked myself when I was younger was that, hey, what if I never, like I'm sure a lot of African Americans can relate to this. They always wondered, like, okay, are you telling me that if I never, heard about Jesus Christ, does that mean I will never go to heaven? That's something that I always, wondered in my mind too. I'm like, okay, if I never believed in God or if I never followed, like I never heard about Jesus Christ, does that mean I will never make it to heaven? And through my search, through my search, even through in the Bible, I did find that you can actually, it's not about the religion, right? It's really not. It's really in the Bible. If you go ahead and read a little bit more about John, in the Bible, the chapter of John, it talks about that. And if you read a little bit more, you will understand the significance of why, even why God came to earth. But everyone knows what it means to do something right. Everyone knows what it means to do something wrong. Now we can decide to not follow those paths, but what is right is right. No matter how you want to twist it around, whatever is right is always right. It's not about doing something that is good for you. It's about doing things that are right within you. This is what is going to be right for you. And what is right for me, it has to do with, it ties into the purpose, why you're here on earth. The question, I have a few other questions I'm going to tap into. Like I said, if you have any questions you want to ask me, feel free. So again, what makes me feel like I can help people discover their purpose? Number one, many people, many profound speakers have spoken about how to discover your purpose. People normally give you the questions of how to discover your purpose, but nobody really tells you, like, they give you the question, but nobody has really done the analysis of what it means or how to discover that for yourself. I've watched and I've seen multiple speakers talk about how to discover your purpose, but nobody ever told you that, hey, can guide you in the right path. And that is something that, especially with the fact that I'm a psych nurse practitioner, I'm gifted at. I'm gifted at helping you analyze that to be able to understand why it's important for you to understand your purpose. Yes, I'm not a pastor. I could have been a minister. I was supposed to be one, but I chose to do things my way because I just don't, like I said, I'm here for people that are not, let's say, quote unquote, religious. That's what I'm here. I'm here for people that really, truly just say, you know what, I believe there's a God, and I'm just trying to understand what it is that how can I connect to that, right? It's like I said, I'm not bashing any religion. It's not about that for me. I do consider myself Christian, but I just go ahead and practice these things very differently. I'm not quote unquote someone that does Sunday service. I'm not about that. For me, spirituality, is about, it's an everyday thing. It's something I do every day. It's something that it's who I am in everything that I'm doing. It's something about connecting and consulting with the Holy Spirit whenever you're doing something. That's what I do exactly in my own daily life. So it's not about Sunday. That's when I'm holy. I don't do that. It's an everyday, every moment's thing for me. So that's the way I function. So that's more of my style. So so yes, I am, like I said, spiritual. What do I mean by religion and spiritual? Again, religiosity and spirituality. I've just explained that. So again, God lives in each one of us, and that is true. Now let's talk about purpose. What can purpose, when you discover your purpose, what does that do for you? What does discovering your purpose, what does that do for you as a human being? Discovering your purpose, can that pay? Number one, let's put it this way: does discovering your purpose pay your bills? I'm going to tell you no. And I know it sounds crazy, but it doesn't. What discovering your purpose does for you, it helps you discover, right? When you discover your purpose, right? Initially, it doesn't pay your bill. It would not pay your bill initially, but later on it does. Okay, so what pays your bill, right? Can some people will say that's passion. Yeah, there is a way you can tie, your passion can pay your bills. But what I call that is discovering your niche. When you discover your niche, literally, when you discover who you are, that's the right thing. When you discover who you are, that can, and then you tie that to your passion, that will pay your bills. You knowing who you are, and also understanding your passion, that will pay your bills. So that is literally what niche is. You got to know who you are, right? Who am I? Because when you know who you are, you know the people you don't want around you. You know the rooms you don't want to walk into. You know the kind of places you don't want to be in. You know the jobs you want to do, and you know the jobs you don't want to do. You know what you're gifted at, and you know what you're not gifted at. You're not going to be trying to do trial and error. There's no trial and error. You're going to know exactly what you need to do for yourself. So that's the important. It's very, very important people discover themselves. It is what affects you, even your relationship. What kind of, because a lot of people get into relationships, right? We get into relationships because of our feelings and all that stuff. And then later on you find out, hey, this is not the person that I really want to be with, right? It's very important when you discover who you are as a human being. It's going to help you, it's going to help you be able to monetize your passion. Now, another thing, like I said, knowing who you are and discovering your passion will definitely pay your bills. Now, purpose has to do with what you want to solve for life. Now, what does purpose do for you? Purpose gives you fulfillment. It makes you feel joyful. It allows you to wake up every day knowing that there's something that you want to solve in the world. It makes your life better. It makes everybody else's life better as well. It's, for example, it's like like the phone we have nowadays. This was someone's work. This was their passion. And now it's serving a purpose in our lives. That's exactly what purpose does. So if we want to continue to make a change in the world we live in, right, for the next generation, purpose is what's going to allow us to do that, is what's going to change the world for the better. It's not about just yourself. It's going to fulfill you as a being, but it's going to fulfill others and change their lives for the better. If people never discovered what they're passionate about and find a way to make that something that is purposeful in our lives, we would never literally advance as a human race. Death has nothing to do with it's not about people dying in extinction. No, extinction of ideas is really the death of humanity. Again, extinction of ideas is the death of humanity. And this is why it's very important that we discover ourselves, we discover what we're passionate about, and then we discover why or what is something in the world that we're passionate about that we want to change. Once you discover your passion and you discover yourself, you will be able to, you will be able to monetize it. You will know what field you want to go into. You will know how to make the life you want to make, your dream life, become a reality. You would really be able to bring that to fruition in life. But if you don't know who you are, you're gonna be trying an error, trying different things, and before, by the time you discover yourself, it might be a little too late, or you may not have the energy to push further. So when I talk about purpose, again, purpose initially may not pay your bills, but later on, funny enough is that when you discover your purpose, it actually eventually will pay the bills. It will pay your bills, and you wouldn't have to chase after money. Money will chase after you. That's exactly what purpose does. And this is why I am really pushing forth to try to help people discover who they are, help them discover what is it that they're passionate about. And like I said, it's not about just giving people the question, but it's about making that a reality for you. It's about literally, like it's not like, oh, I give you the question or you read a book. No, I'm going to work with you and do the analysis to help you understand like what it is that you should be in and what you should not be in. Because like I said, people are gifted in many things. And for me, that is one thing that I'm gifted at. There are people that have spoken about this topic and they have done it for others. And that's what I'm trying to do for our next generation and the generations to come. I don't want people to have to struggle to find themselves. I want you to know yourself now. That way you don't have to do try and error trying to figure it out. It's either you're going for lifestyle or you want to be a legend. And literally, lifestyle is just for now. It doesn't promote generational wealth. But being a legend will promote generational wealth. And we need to tap into that. It's not just about now, it's about our children's children and the life we want to leave behind. You don't want to just be on earth and be like a snake that had no imprint on life and nobody ever knew you existed. So you want to really leave an imprint in life and really leave that mark in life. That's what it is. It's not just about lifestyle and living the life you want to live. You want to also make sure you do something great for others. Just remember your niche, right? Is about discovering yourself and discovering what you're passionate about. And that's how you're going to make money, and finding the ways to monetize that. That's something that I help you discover. Purpose initially will not pay your bills, but eventually it is the umbrella that will eventually pay all of your bills. And this is why I'm preaching about that. I know how to help people do that. And like I said, tonight it was just a conversation. I'm not a pastor, but I'm gifted in my own way. I bet you if a pastor was talking to you tonight, people will, literally there will be like 5,000 people here already if a pastor was. But trust me, people are gifted at many different things. And just because someone is a reverend or pastor does not mean they are gifted in this area. Everybody has different gifting. And like I said, I was supposed to be a minister, but I'm not because I chose to do things my own way. I'm here for people that are not necessarily religious, but again, once they're all about spirituality and they understand there's a God and they're trying to figure it out. That's why I'm here. What's your biggest drive? Oh, beautiful. Welly Entertainment, thanks for that question. What is my biggest drive? My biggest drive is I want to ensure that other people do not struggle to discover themselves and do not struggle. I struggled. I thought I was supposed to be a certain person or in a certain career for life. Um, and I'm trying to prevent that for other generations or people that may be in this generation and struggling with that. So that's my biggest drive. That's something that makes me, it makes me very passionate. And this is how Rethink Life with Doyin came about. It's called Rethink Life because unfortunately, and I also noticed that a lot of things said in society are not necessarily what people really do. A lot of people preach a lot of things on social media, but they're not following it, right? They're just preaching the mainstream, or sometimes people really do follow the mainstream ideas, and it does not work for their life. It does not work for their life, and they wonder why they're struggling. So this is why I'm here to help us change our mindset, help us rethink life so that we can really truly live the life we're supposed to. Because a lot of things, I feel like a lot of providers or experts. I was speaking to someone today. A lot of experts really need to speak up. If we don't speak up and speak against what is the social norms or social messages passed around in social media, people are going to literally they're going to continue to follow things that are not ideal for their life. If we don't speak up, then of course the people, they say the empty barrel makes the loudest noise, right? Someone that is foolish makes the loudest noise, and they speak up. If we don't speak up, we are so, people quote unquote say they're so intelligent, so they don't speak up. So we have to speak up. We have to, because you're intelligent does not mean you should speak. You shouldn't speak up. You have to speak against things that are false, and this is how we can change a narrative in the society. If we don't, if we all keep quiet, the wrong ideas are going to be passed from generation to generation. So it's about changing your mindset. I didn't realize that I would, through this journey, that I would literally, it would gear me towards helping people discover discover what they're passionate about, and also becoming the success they want to be, or making a business out of that. I didn't know the journey was going to take me towards that route. But as I continued to delve into the Word of God, for me, that's what I believe in, and I discovered some things, right? Why we have creative capabilities, and why God really made us in His own image and likeness, and that's why I'm here to bring that to fruition. I do coach people on how to open their business and how to, be the success they want to be. And, like I said, it doesn't matter what industry, but if you are thinking about what you want to be in life, or you're not sure, you have a daughter or a sister or brother that is like, hey, I don't know what I want to do. That's where I come in, because like I said, that is something that drives me, because I was once there. So this is one of the things that I'm trying to really bring to light for others to discover who they are. And what is my biggest fear, if any? Well, one thing I think I've discovered that the possibility of this message not passing across different, not going across multiple genres, or better yet, in on social media, is possible. But that wouldn't stop me. One thing I've realized is that people that don't really speak the truth, it's not when you're alive that you're popular. It's after you're gone, then people wake up and realize, oh wow, like Martin Luther King was not popular. Neither was Miles Monroe when he was alive. Yes, they were popular to some extent, but their messages didn't pass on. They didn't really have a big impact until on the later end, when they're no longer alive. So that's normally what happens with people that speak. People that are inspirational speakers. That's what happens, and that's okay. I'm not fearful. I'm not here for the for the likes of people. I'm here to speak the truth, because they say the truth will set us free. So that's why I'm here, to really impact lives and make change in people's lives for the better. It's not about people liking me. I'm not interested in that. I'm really about making people's life better, and making them really live the life they're supposed to live. Hello, how are you?
Great,
Good.
great, great.
Oh,
How's it going?
were you on the
What was
previous?
that question? What was the question you were just responding to again?
Yes. So the question I was responding to was about um somebody was asking me what was my biggest fear. So I just joined live right now. I have a show. It's called Rethink Life with Doyin, and I tonight was about asking me any question that pertains to that, right? Why do I feel? Because some people might wonder, like, why is it that I'm speaking on, discovering your purpose and what that entails? Why would I even want to talk about that? So, do I think I'm a pastor, right? Because most of the time, if people go to churches and they preach about this, everybody's gonna be like, if I literally was a reverend or something, people would line up at the door trying to get the right, trying to trying to understand how to discover their life purpose.
Right,
And I was in church, right, back then, and I used to wonder, like, people are saying discovering your purpose, and I just felt like, hey, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I'm good at 500, like a few things, right? And I'm just wondering, like, are you telling me I'm supposed to focus on music? Am I supposed to focus on, not just music? Am I supposed to focus on my, like my intelligence portion, career path? Am I supposed to focus on, acting? I don't know. Like, I think I'm good at multiple things. Which one is it? And I used to be like, I was frustrated. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know much about how to, like, what do you mean how to discover my purpose? Nobody ever explained what that means. And through my life journey, I discovered how to discover my purpose for life. And it's so interesting, because I didn't know that at the time I was discovering, actually, I discovered my niche first. And I was saying tonight to people that when you discover your niche, it actually is literally discovering yourself and what you're passionate about, and then finding ways to monetize that. So that was what I discovered. So I discovered how to monetize my passion. I discovered how to, and I also ended up discovering myself at the same time. That was beneficial to me, because everybody, we need money. People
sure.
need money. We all need money. So even through that questions that I asked myself, I discovered my purpose. And then my purpose was glaring to me later on. And I was saying tonight that discovering your purpose does not money, it's not gonna give you money. No, it's not. But on the later on, it's like the umbrella that eventually like takes care of everything you ever want. Initially, you're gonna have to fuel it with your discovering yourself and your passion, which is your niche.
Good point. First off, I just want to say I think you do a tremendously
Thank
great job. I know you probably don't have the traction that you expect, but probably with time. But no, you're very right. And I always tell this to people too, right? I say it to myself too. There's nothing wrong with like finding a niche that you can exploit, and of course, doing like going ham on it, right? Um, to your point, the main goal is to look for a solution blueprint, so to speak, right? How you can actually be a solution to a problem, and then create value for people over time. Um, the byproduct of that it trickles down to money, of course, or currency, whatever that currency may be. Maybe money, maybe your time and other resources. But no, I totally agree with you. I think the challenge, just like you said, it's not just finding your purpose. I think the challenge is actually being able to stay the journey, right?
you.
Because again, at the end of the day, the goal is the goal, but the journey is the real deal. Like that's where everything happens, right? It's not, it's in the process of becoming that we actually become, right? So the patience, the discipline, the determination, the ability to continue to have your eyes on the prize and stay true to it. I think that's the hardest part. Because while you're doing that, you could get distracted, you could get discouraged. So many things could happen in between that, your starting point to your goal. Um, so many opportunities can be thrown at you. And now you have to have the spirit of discernment to be able to tell what's supposed to be an opportunity and what's supposed to be a distraction. Um, there's so much to unpack in this topic. It's a big again, I love what you unbox on your page. It's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate that not everybody can relate or decipher,
Yeah.
and I don't blame them. But no, you do a great job. I'm not gonna lie
Thank
to you.
you. Thank you. You know, and it's so interesting because you mentioned a few things that are profound, and I thank you for bringing those up. You mentioned discernment, and that's why I spoke tonight on the importance of doing what is right for you. It's not about good, it's about right.
Mm.
And this is why I don't speak on just Christianity. I don't speak on, you have to be a certain religion, because it's actually very interesting. Because I said to someone tonight, I said, hey, before I like I used to wonder, right? You're African, I'm African, and I used to wonder, okay, like, are you telling me that as an African that I should go ahead and throw away the whatever we believed in back home, whatever, because we do have different types of religion. It's not just we have different spirituality, right? That it's not even religion for us. It's more of a spirituality guide,
Yep.
right? Have the dark one, we have the light one, but they've made us believe that, when we believe in the, whatever we, let's say African, religion are
Preach.
all evil. That's
Preach.
what they've made us believe, that, it is evil. And I never once accepted that, because I was telling someone tonight, I'm like, I was supposed to be a minister in the church. I said, no, I'm not, because I just felt like I want whatever I just felt like I wanted to be authentic within, and it's truly who I am. I don't want to be a certain person and act in a certain way just to make other people. No, I want to be me. I don't believe in that. You can't dance. Like, what you mean? Jesus Christ created dancing for a reason, music for a reason. Like, I just felt like, like, no, you can't tell me that I cannot do some things that I find, enjoyable, just because, like, I'm not saying you could go ahead and, do things that are not ideal for other people or to yourself. But I just feel like, for example, the little cliche things like, maybe wearing earring, or, or putting on makeup, or dressing to look good. You don't have to be revealing, but they made it seem as if you're those things, you're a devil's child, or you love to dance. That means you're a devil's child. Jesus talk about in the Bible. They talk about, you can dance like David danced. Like, I wanted to be. there are some things that were just like literally they were just making it more than what it was. And I just felt like, hey, I'm Christian. Like I said, I'm Nigerian. If I just used to think if I never knew about Christianity, and I'm glad I do, but would I still really be, like, does that mean I'm not Jesus's daughter? Because I'm not, and funny enough, I found that information through reading the Bible too. I found out that it's not about you going to church 24/7. It's really in the Bible, whether you believe, whether you have the opportunity to know about God or you don't. God can abide in you as long as, and there's a reason why the Holy Spirit was reestablished. Jesus Christ came to earth to reestablish the Holy Spirit within us. It wasn't just about writing the law on paper or writing the law during Moses' time. It's about reestablishing it in our hearts. It's written in every humankind's heart. And that is why I was like, okay, like that's when you say discernment, right? It ties into that for me. I'm like, okay, what is it? I'm like, hey, there's a time in my life whereby I feel like this is the right thing for me and it feels good within me. Like what is right is good. What is good does not mean it's right. And I was just like, I want to tap into that 24/7, everything I do. How can I tap into that? So when you talk about discernment, that is where that when it comes to discovering your life purpose or through the journey, what is going to guide you? How is someone like me that doesn't have a degree in business doing business? I would have never thought in a million years that I'll be doing what I'm doing now. But how did I? Because I was just like, you know what, life has showed me something. It paved the way for me to meet some people that just came out into my life for no reason. I don't even know how, but they did. And I was just like, you know what, whatever that is that life is showing me, and when I say life, God is showing me, that's what I believe. And I was just like, you know what, whatever that is, I'm just gonna follow through. Right? I went through so much struggle before I got here, but everything makes sense when I think back about it. So literally, for anyone out there, for example, that is, like when it comes to, I get the journey. I get the journey is tough. I get the journey is, when through the journey you become it. You're transitioning from what society normally preach into becoming your own individual. It is not easy to be outside the box and being there. It's not easy, but the thing is that what makes it worthwhile, keyword, is the passion of you wanting to do something greater for human being, for your, that fulfills you. It heals you. Purpose heals you. It fixes you. It fixes you as a being, and it makes you evolve into someone different. I never would have thought I would be here to have a conversation ever, or be on a live. Speaking of, right? I'm still journeying, and I'm going through the journey. I'm going through the journey of discovering myself, of becoming who I'm supposed to be. And that's exactly the same thing for everyone. It's not an easy process, but when you discover your life purpose, that part is what makes the journey. It's like you have a bigger vision. You see the vision, I see the vision, and I'm trying to create that. That is literally the driving force here. And that is what makes it worthwhile. It's not about, that's why when someone asked me tonight, I said, it's not about, whether I get followers. I'm hoping that I will. I'm hoping that people will get the message, and I'm trying my best. And I know some places I can go, but I'm trying to do it right now within the little that I have. I can go to a school and have this conversation, but I'm refining my gifts having these conversations with you guys, because I'm learning, okay, what is it that people really need? What do I want to say to them? Stuff like that. So the journey of becoming is not easy, but it makes it worthwhile when you discover your life purpose and you discover what is it that you want to solve. And like I said, when you are in your niche, like I said, discovering who you are, discovering what is your passion, right? Your gifts that you're given. You put those two together. You find a way to monetize. Go to school for it if you have to go to school. Like I said, these things that I'm saying is not something that is I'm just saying right now. People have said this. That, trust me, go watch Miles Monroe. Go listen to some profound speakers, even as of today. They're big, and they're saying the same thing I'm saying. You got to find what you're passionate about and monetize it, and then your purpose will discover. It would emerge through that journey.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. You're a wealth of knowledge, by the way. I like it when the way you curate your message is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
There's something that you said. I just wanted to throw some light on that one, right? So regarding religion, right? That's a symposium conversation. We can do this another day. I promise you, there's so much in that could come out.
Yeah.
That's one. Because I I like to believe that I'm a Christian.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm also very logical.
I understand.
And in all honesty, if you want to be a very good Christian, you cannot be as logical.
Hmm.
All right.
I'll tell you. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. But I'd say this. And that's why I said this conversation. Trust me, we can have it all night. But the
I,
truth is, for so many of us, we have not been able to question our surroundings enough, our environments enough to look for the truth in every existence around us, right?
absolutely.
When we start to question, and this is what education is, and I'm not talking about academics now.
Yeah.
Academics is different from
Absolutely.
education. So education is that knowledge that you get yourself from
Mhm.
questioning, out of curiosity, questioning your environment
Mhm.
to understand the needs in your environment, the solutions in your environment, and as a matter of urgency, tap them when you
Mhm.
need. Now,
I'm listening.
where I'm going to with this is that if people do that a lot, they will
Mhm.
realize that the reason why they are Christians or Muslims is not because they love God or they love Allah, but rather because they were born into a family. In most cases, these have been predefined. These are configured. We did not have a choice. If
Mm.
I was born in China, I would not serve God.
Hmm.
If I was born in India, I would probably be serving him. I'll be what is that, Hindus or whatever.
Yeah.
If I was born in the deep cities in the
Yeah.
UK, I probably would believe in Thor.
Mhm.
If I was born in Haiti, I probably no, let me not use Haiti. In Senegal, I would probably be Muslim. But we can go on and on.
Yeah.
You see what I'm getting at?
Yes.
But where I'm getting at with this is that these things are not things that we had choice over. There are
Mhm.
certain things that you don't have choice over. When you're born into a family, you don't choose your name, you don't choose your religion,
Mm.
you don't choose your tribe, you don't choose your country, you don't
Mhm.
get to choose these
Yeah.
things. So when you become of age, say 21 or whatever age, some people get it even earlier. Some people are, lucky enough to be able to question their
Mm.
surrounding as early as just give me a second. Let me move away from where I am. As early as like say 15 or 16 or even 18, whatnot. The truth is, if you're lucky enough to be able to make those type of to take those type of actions, right, at such a young age, you would realize that it's not the fact that you love God that makes you a Christian. It's the fact that you were born into Christianity, right? Now, if you question the reasons why you are doing the things that you're doing, you realize that most of them are preferences, or rather prejudices over preferences, right? I'll give you an example. Let me throw this out there. Now, you're growing up, you're born into your family, awesome family, Yoruba.
Mm.
Your family goes to church, of course. Let's assume probably every member of your family says they don't like, growing up, they don't like spicy food,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Now, all what they cook in your house is non-spicy food,
Mm.
right? You grow up, you don't like spicy food.
Mm.
Now, it's not that you don't like spicy food, it's that
Mm.
you have not tried spicy food.
Mm.
Now, when you try spicy food, there's a tendency for you to like it. But because you haven't tried it, and because your mind has been clouded with what you have heard all through your upbringing, you say, oh, spicy food is. And that's why a lot of people around us here do not like spicy food. I'll give you
Mm.
another example. Growing up, your mother was tall, your father was tall, your sisters and brothers are tall. There's a belief, or there's some sort of euphoria that's created within the people around you
Mm.
that tall
Tall people
people
are.
are beautiful.
Mhm.
So now growing
Yes.
up, you
Yes.
assume you see a person, you don't even get to know them, and you say, "Oh, she's not beautiful,"
Mm.
without even going to experience the person.
Mhm.
Now you could legitimately miss out on the love of your life. Like literally, you could miss out on your destiny just because of that um
Yes,
prejudice,
yes, yes.
right? Because this is not preference. You have not
Yes.
really dated a tall person or dated a short person
Mm-hmm.
for you to decide whether or not the short person is a beautiful
I,
person or not.
mm-hmm.
So the scale of measurement for beautiful in your life has been tampered with
Mm-hmm.
because you were a victim of the surrounding that you found yourself in when you were born
Mm-hmm.
to this world. And so you cannot really bring yourself to the scale of equilibrium where you can now say, listen, I don't think tall and short is really different. It's more about the person. So,
Mm.
some people for the rest of their life never get to make this assessment.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
if you're smart enough, you'll be able to make that assessment, and maybe choices or even life will become easier for you.
Absolutely.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk your ears
No, no,
out.
no. You're
So I'm gonna keep
good.
it at that.
I,
I'm gonna
I
keep it
I
at
know,
that.
and it's funny because we actually spoke on I think what was maybe like 2 weeks ago we did a live was the meaning the title was the meaning of life. What is the meaning of life, right? And we talked about that. The part of it we spoke about what is the meaning of life. Then later on we spoke about what meaning you what is the meaning of life and what gives meaning to your life, something like that.
Mm.
So we went into that conversation, and part of part of what you're saying right now, I get the whole idea of the prejudice belief, right? It's and that's why like it's called Rethink Life we're doing. Keyword, you're unlearning, you're where you unlearn to relearn. It's
Yep.
that's the
Yep.
reason why this is here. And it's so crazy because this really came this the name I didn't come up with the name of my talk show. It's it was through for me a revelation. Literally I woke up one morning and the what came to my mind was Rethink Life we're doing. Like literally I saw that within myself through sleeping. So for me it was a vision, right? And even like the whole talking and everything like that, it's not because I wanted to do it. Even though even opening my business, that came about from a divine from a divine perspective, the way it came about. So I understand what you're saying about like, and I think like it's so crazy, but I really do believe like even like the whole idea of me saying I don't want to be a minister the way the church did, like the way they were doing things. And I'm like I said to someone tonight, the reason I'm here is because I'm here to have this kind of conversation with people that literally just believe in God, and they're trying to really like, hey, I'm a logical person. I see what religion is doing, but like I see it. I'm not saying you have to be illogical, right? To be a to be like, well, to some extent, following religiosity, you are illogical. You are,
Yep.
because you're not really, because people are not realizing what the Bible, what is the reason why we have the Bible. They're thinking it's, a devotional book. It's God is not here to. It's not just about devotion. Yes, it can help you be devoted, but it's not about devotion. There's a message it's trying to pass across. This is why you have to read the Bible for what it really is. Why are you created? Why are you created as like? Why did a whole creator create you? Right? Why did he make you in his own image and pour into you his character, his mindset into you? Why did he give you gifts that he gave you to come to this world? You think he just came to you so you can stop praying every day in devotion? No. You're supposed to utilize these things that he gave you. A whole human being, we don't know where he is, a whole spirit being created us and poured into you and say, hey, my child, go into the world and utilize. I gave you this little gifts to use on your journey, and you decide to just leave it behind and put it on it says you put it on the bushel and expect it to magnify itself. No. So it's so crazy in this conversation, and that's why it's, like I said, it's called Rethink Life. To, Doyin, to unlearn to unlearn to relearn. So what you're saying about the religious aspect, I agree with you, right? And that's why it's really crazy. To believe in God, unfortunately, is the way. It's God is not the problem here. It's the fact that we have not really delved in for ourselves to really understand the reason why there is like, why do we have the Bible? The Bible talks about a time being, and it's a warning book for us. People don't take it as a warning book. They're taking it as, and they don't understand why Jesus Christ came to heaven. I'm sorry, came from heaven to earth. Like, Jesus don't want you to die and come to heaven. He wants you to live on earth. He wants you to bring heaven onto earth. People don't realize that. So a lot of things like that, and like I said, people, like I said, I used to be, all devoted with church and everything, but I had to go dive in to understand what is it that I'm really like, what is it that I'm learning here. And a lot, like I said, that is what I discovered through my journey, is that whether you believe, that's what I said, it doesn't matter if you're Muslim, Christian, sorry, Hindu, or whatever that is. It talks in the Bible how literally, whether you do, if you like, believe in Jesus Christ all you want, if you don't follow what the Holy Spirit guides you to do, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. So
Pretty much.
you have to, yeah, you have to. It talks about, like, it's crazy. It's in the Bible, but nobody preaches about that in church.
No,
They make you believe that it is wrong for you to believe in, like, it's wrong for you to, I'm not saying go choose somebody else as another God, but I understand the people. The thing is that, sincerely speaking, people are like, let's say Muslims, right? They believe in God. They just talk about everybody, like most churches or most, cultures, right? Whatever that is, African culture, we believe in God. We do, but we call him a different a different thing, and we try to connect to him in a different light. But it does not mean that we're a devil's child, and the Bible talks about that. So whether I'm a Christian or not, if as long as I'm following literally what God tells me to do, what my spirit being tells me to do, and literally it doesn't steer you wrong to kill somebody else. The 10 commandments is written in everybody's heart. It doesn't matter if you're Hindu, whatever. The 10 commandments is written in your heart. That is the reason why God came to earth, to write the law into your heart. So no human being can say they don't know the laws. The laws is written in your heart. So guess what? If you choose, it talks about, if you choose not to abide by it, that then you're gonna live a life of strain.
that's why I said this conversation is
But wait.
just a whole conversation for another day because we could talk the
Yes.
whole night.
But yeah, yeah.
Um, but I agree with you on everything that you said. Um, the idea that if I don't serve your God, I'm gonna go to hell is a fallacy.
That's
You,
false. Big
you
false
understand
thing.
me? To your point earlier, just do the right thing, do right by yourself, do right by others. So long as your actions do not put others in harm's way, you're good.
Exactly. And
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 and and I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I'll be the devil. I'll be the devil's child. Now here's the thing, right? Every religion has some superpower that they believe
of
in.
course.
So I'll just tell you what I
Mm-hmm.
think. I just think that religion was fused into the world for humans to have some level of fear and faith in something. I'll tell you why I'm saying this.
Okay.
Because when you think, and this is my thought, when you think about the laws, right, we can have the laws within as humans in the United States, for instance, the legal world, the legal universe can only but do so much because the process of the law is to punish injustice, right?
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
But there's some
Which makes
acts,
sense. Yeah.
that are not, that are justified but still not fair. Well, no, that are justified but not illegal or
Okay.
crime.
I understand.
I'll give you an example, right? If I step out of my house and I see my neighbor in pain, right? I see my neighbor um getting beat up,
Mm-hmm.
or I see my neighbor dying or
Mm.
something. There's no law that says that I have to call
Mm-hmm.
for help
Okay.
or help that neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
But faith, the religion in me, the fact that my conscience will prick me because of the religion or the whole religious the religious mindset that I have is what would make me go over and lend him a helping hand,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
That's the same reason why I will not just go over to my neighbor's maybe car and speed on it or
Mm.
do something. I'm just being as random as possible, but I'm just
I
telling you
understand.
that what I'm getting to with this is that the laws, the legal world, the legal there's a jurisdiction of um coverage that the legal world can have on the actions of humans. So there are some human actions that are not illegal, however, not ethical either, right?
Yeah.
So for those kind of things to be taken care of, religion was introduced. These are things that would beg to your conscience. These are things that fear would not be the resolve, right? Fear would not solve for. Rather, and I'm talking about fear of being punished,
Okay.
right? Rather, faith and conscience, right? Plea to conscience will make for that. So that's where religion steps in. So to your point, in every religion, the 10 Commandments is written or inscribed in your heart. Not just the 10 Commandments, generally the whole message of the Bible is just to be a good person, even though there are so many, stories that try to tend to say it in so many ways, and you can pick parts and pieces. But the idea is just to believe in the supernatural power that can punish you if you don't use your good conscience when when the universe requests for it.
I
You see,
see what you're
okay,
saying. Yeah, I see what
and
you're
I don't
saying.
mean to sound like an atheist here, but I just wanted to play devil's advocate. So there you
I see
go.
what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I get it. So, I see what you're saying about, like, one could argue that the reason why religion was established was just to have, hold on one second, I'm just waving at people. The reason why religion was established was just to imprint in the hearts of humans, aside from the legal law, also imprint in their heart about the hi, real Sonia. Nice to meet you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. Is to also imprint in their heart this supernatural aspect, so that way we have a stronger hold on how humans behave. I get that. I get what you're saying about
Yep.
that part. I mean, of course, we all, part of the story is also, like, how did religion come into play? Even if you think about it, right? It was more for, like, initially religion was for it was more like a marketplace, right? That's why, in the Bible, how Jesus Christ was like, what are you doing in my Father's place? At that time, people came from all over, right? Miles and miles away, and they came to gather and exchange goods. It was a gathering, it was a social gathering for them. But as things will evolve on the later end, right, it evolved into becoming more of a spiritual journey. It's not just about, selling goods and stuff like that. That part you mentioned about the possibility, like a devil's advocate would say, I get that, and yeah, possibly, who knows, right? But regardless of it all, I think, we all do know, right? Whether, atheistically speaking, we all do know what it means to do right. It is written in everyone's one's heart, whether it is by law or whether it is by, a human being, imprinting the supernatural into our, in our minds, and making us feel like, oh, if you don't do this, you go to hell. Yeah, that's possible, right? If you don't do this, you go to heaven. And there are churches that, they do that. But like I said, regardless of it all, right? Every human being knows, okay, you don't want to go ahead and kill somebody, right? It's not ideal to kill somebody.
That,
It's not
that is that is even extreme. I'm sorry to cut you short. That is even extreme because that's also legally binding, right? I mean, murder is punishable under the law. I'm talking about things that are not even legally binding, right? I'm talking about things that the law does not solve for,
Oh yeah, law
right?
does also for a lot of things. Law and the spiritual aspect do not, like, they don't necessarily mesh. You'd be surprised, right?
Right.
The religion part, the 10 Commandments is a law. Those are principles of life. That's a law in its own. And then the law, the legal law, doesn't necessarily mesh with the. It doesn't mean it meshes with the religious law.
100%. Yeah.
So, but
Agree.
but one is always accurate, which is always the religious part, which is the what. That's why the Bible is forever and ever. It's always gonna stand. Test of
Yeah.
time. Doesn't matter what era you will be in. It's
How,
always gonna be wrong for you to do some things based on the 10 Commandments.
however, the laws continue to change as time
That's the
goes on. So,
law, but not
so,
the
so
religious law.
yes,
Yeah, that's
that's
yeah,
what I'm saying, right? The
exactly,
Bible stands the test of time.
exactly.
As time goes, murder. there was outrightly murder should be punished by murder, and then now murder can be punished by a few years if it's defense, and maybe in a
Exactly.
few years, who knows, with the way tech is going, murder by a robot may not be counted as murder. Yeah, we're heading there.
Ex-
Elon Musk just, he just introduced his
exactly.
robots. Who knows what they're gonna do in the nearest future?
Exactly.
But anyway,
Yeah.
no, listen, I enjoyed this conversation. I saw you online, and I'm like, let me just listen in and pick this girl's brain.
Definitely next time will be the next time the conversation is gonna be on this. I normally go live, right? I join Rethink live, but I'm like, you know what, I have a lot of followers on Crown of Honey, and I think they also need to see what I'm doing on Rethink live with Doyin to get more understanding. The next conversation next time, I'll probably try to stream on Crown of Honey right now, so get also obviously to get more people aware of what I'm doing. But it's gonna be, the topic is gonna be on love language. We're gonna have a conversation
Okay.
about that,
So,
and I'm actually gonna invite a speaker, a guest. She's very good. She's a therapist, and she does for marriage and family counseling. And I think it's very important to hear, right, what the significance of love language and what that entails, because people, it's so you will be surprised the things we're gonna talk about, because it's not what people normally talk about on social media. And well, my heart of service, he doesn't understand my love language, and da 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 da. So it is gonna be, like I said, everything on Rethink Life is about helping you build your mindset, to be the success, right? Rethink all of life, everything that pertains to it. Money, business, making, living being in your purpose, being in your niche, everything that pertains to it is a conversation. It's an avenue for us to have this conversation and really unlearn some things that are old, that are not ideal, or even new things that are not ideal or profound in your life that is not necessarily going to help you. Unlearn that, so be able to relearn better, so you can live the life in a better way.
yeah.
Derah, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate
All
you.
right. No,
Um,
no, most welcome. Of
yeah,
course, of course.
I appreciate it. And stay tuned, guys.
Yeah. Have a good
Subscribe
evening.
and follow me. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Thanks. Good night. Bye bye.
Don't forget, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.